Well, hello everyone and welcome to Chef Shelley's Kitchen. So today we have a real treat. I'm going to be making easy, cheesy, crustless quiches. And they're mini quiches. And definitely the healthier version because we're going to be using egg whites. We're actually going to be looking at this in 3 steps. The first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go out and get my pan warmed up as I'm talking, is the first thing we're going to actually cook some of the main ingredients that we're going to actually put in cups of the muffin cups first. And so what I have here, and I'll of course put all the ingredients on the site, I have a half of an onion, I have half of a red bell pepper. Nice thing about red bell pepper is that it has a lot more healthy features to it actually than the green peppers. And so we've got that already chopped up. I also am going to be adding some turkey bacon. So this is kind of non-cured and I have basically 3 slices here. So you can alter it as you see fit. If you obviously don't eat meat, this is not for you. If you have some problems with turkey bacon, you know, add, subtract as you see fit. And then I have chopped up here 1 tomato, and then I have 2 cups of spinach, okay? And so what we want to do is go on and we're going to add our olive oil. Of course, you all know by now that I'm such a huge fan of olive oil. So we're going to kind of spread that around. And I'm going to go on and add my onions and bell pepper because I want to know when this is hot enough. Then we're going to actually add the turkey bacon. So we're going to put this in. And I tell you, this has become a real favorite. I saw this original recipe actually online. And as usual, I tweak it. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing egg whites. So I've kind of cut some things out, added some things, but this is so delicious. And the nice thing is you can also freeze these. You know how I am about making things in larger quantities and then portioning them out so that you can eat them at a later date. So this is kind of one of those things. I'll be honest with you though, I make 12 of these and serving sizes are about 2 a piece. I've not had any left over to freeze because we love them, so they are so good. I was actually jealous last week. This is actually my 3rd time making these, and I was jealous because I had given away some of mine for some people to try it out. And my husband had his portion, so he was still eating his, and I had to go to Cheerios, so I was very sad. But nonetheless, so as you can see, this is definitely getting warm. We're going to just kind of let this heat up here, stir it around, and again, all healthy things, and so you're gonna absolutely love this. You're gonna be like, oh my God, Shelley, this is one of your better recipes. So kind of while we're doing this and it's still making its way, still kind of getting heated up, I do want to do a really quick shout out to my friend Cassandra. I will say, Cassandra, I was looking on your site. I saw kind of this picture of what appears to be a dream trip coming up in December. And I was so intrigued and I thought, oh my God, that's going to be a wonderful trip. I'm actually tearing up because of the onions, you guys. And so as I looked at her, I was like, oh, let's see what other pictures she had on her site. And to my pleasant amazement, she had just about all of my videos shared on her timeline. Of course, that warmed my heart, so I had to give you a shout out. I know a lot of you definitely share the page. My friend Deidre does likewise, but I couldn't believe it. She Cassandra doesn't have much on her site, but she does have every one of my videos. So thank you, my friend. I need that kind of support and encouragement. Okay, as you can see, this is doing very well. I'm going to go on now and add the turkey bacon to it, so that can be mixed in here. You can also substitute this for sausage, anything like that, you know, that you kind of like in your omelets. Basically, that's what it is. When you're at a restaurant or if you're making your own omelets, whatever you normally put in there, that's kind of what you want to add. So this typically will make 12. I have a feeling I'm going to run over a little bit because I've probably added a little bit more bacon than I needed to. So you're cooking this part first because the tomatoes take but a hot second, quite honestly, to get done. So we're just going to continue turning it as so. I hope you all have been enjoying the videos. I have received some feedback on some people don't like every other week. So I'm sorry about that, but this is a fun gig I do on the side. So I'm sorry that you want it weekly. But that's a great compliment for sure. Okay, this is actually really kind of just about done because, as I said, when we put the tomatoes in, it's going to be a quick fix. And then we're also going to be putting this in the oven, so it's even cooking more. And you're going to leave it in the oven for about 25 minutes. So now let's go in and add the tomatoes, and we're going to swirl those around a little bit. Get that mixed up there nicely, as you can see. It's just delicious. This is just, I feel like you could just eat this as a dish by itself, quite honestly. Add some cheese to it. Oh, this is good. All good, all good. So again, just kind of mixing it nicely. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and add the spinach. So quite a bit of spinach. This is roughly 2 cups. And as you know, I always put the amounts on the side so you don't have to worry about that. This is something, obviously, we're going to actually have this with toast because it already has the meat inside of it. We'll have the eggs. We just have it with a slice of whole wheat toast and some decaf coffee with reduced fat creamer. So trying to do everything we can to eat well. All right, this is actually almost done. So I'm gonna just kind of show you what the texture looks like. And then we're gonna put this aside because what we're gonna need to do then is put this in the cups of the muffin container. So I'm just going to stir it around just a little bit more. Again, I want you to be able to see the consistency. I'll put it obviously up to the camera. And when these are done, oh my God, they're so beautiful. And to go with the beauty is deliciousness. So, all right, this is good. I don't want to overcook it because remember, it's going to be in the oven for 25 minutes anyway. So this is about what this should look like, the consistency here. So I'm hoping you can see a good picture of that. Again, I didn't cook it for very long. You don't really have to. You're not trying to make it mushy. And it's going to cook a little longer, as I mentioned, once it gets into the oven. Now, if, for example, you're making sausage or something like that, you might need to put that in sooner so that it can cook a little longer. You want to make sure the meat is cooked well more than anything. So, but use your olive oil. It's always the best thing. All right, we're going to turn it off now, and then we're going to move over to the next portion, and that's going to be the egg mixture, okay? So let's stay tuned. All right, so we have finished our mixture. As you can see, this is kind of how it looked, the consistency. What we're going to do now is work on the egg portion. So I actually am using just egg whites. If you were doing this and using eggs, you'd use about 10 whole eggs. But hey, let's keep it healthy. As I've mentioned before, genetically, I have I'm predisposed to higher cholesterol. So this really does help you, and it cuts down on the calories as well. So I've actually used like 14 egg whites here again. We're making 12, okay? So I'm gonna whisk this just a little bit. Let's get around a little. And then to this, again, these are just kind of normal things that you would add if you were making a quiche or even an omelet, but there's gonna be one little secret ingredient, so I'll bring that out here in a second. Next to that, I'm gonna add salt and pepper. And like I said, don't worry about the amounts. We'll make sure that's out there for you. We're gonna mix this, and obviously if you need a little more, a little less, I found the portions that I'll put out on the site are just about good. And then this is 1% milk. We're gonna add that. As you guys know, with a quiche, you're normally adding milk to it. And one other secret ingredient I'm going to add, and then I'm going to add my cheese, is I have about a tablespoon of flour. And the reason why I'm using this is really just kind of for the thickening. We need it, we want it to stick together, and it is anyway, but this actually helps with it. So it's actually just a tablespoon of flour. You don't really need very much. So we're gonna mix that together. Again, that's my little secret ingredient. Just for consistency. Mix this nicely because we don't want the flour to now to be clumpy, right? So you're going to mix this nicely. Mix it really well. It's coming out beautifully. Again, you don't need much. It's just because we don't have a crust for these quiches, they're going to make their own crust. And as I said, they're beautiful. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so to this mixture, I'm going to add cheese. Now, a lot of people can, you can choose what you want. I like sharp cheddar. I like that taste. If you want to use mozzarella, that's another good one that people typically use in a quiche. But especially also because I use egg whites, I'm going to use the sharp cheddar, okay? Because then that also is going to turn it yellow, okay? So we're going to add that together here. Get these out of the way, like so. Okay, so once we mix this really nicely, and one caution, the cheese has a tendency to kind of sit on the bottom a little bit, so make sure you've scooped enough of it into each cup when it's time, okay, to add it. All right, this is looking really good. And as a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do as I'm looking at the consistency, I'm going to get my husband to give me a little more cheese. So can you get me some more extra sharp, because I'm just looking at the consistency here, and this is kind of one of those things as a cook, I guess. So I appreciate my husband helping me out, and we're going to just add just a little bit more. Just a little more, because we want the consistency right. So I'll make sure it's exactly as it should be. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my muffin tray, and I'm going to scoop. I've also sprayed this down with some pan cooking spray so it doesn't stick. So I'm going to take just about a teaspoon. And I'll just go through to make sure I have some in every cup. You're just going to put some in each one. And then obviously you can go back over it once you've put enough. But I found not a teaspoon, a tablespoon. Just put it in there like so. And as I said, you can go back over it. The other trick with this is once we put in the egg mixture, you're going to want to go back and just kind of mix it a little bit, just to make sure the egg spreads evenly. So, as I said, you're going to have a little bit extra. Just go back over it. It's no big deal, right? Because you want to use all of this for sure. So wherever you put a little, you were a little stingy, just go back and fill those cups up a little bit more. Okay. And this is about it for that. Okay, so we've got these in real nicely now. I'm going to actually scoop some of that one, put some over here. This has a little bit more than the others. No science to this. Okay. All right, just move it over. If you've got too much in one cup, just move it over to another cup. It's as simple as that. This is easy stuff and delicious stuff to add to it. All right, so now that I've kind of gotten everything kind of evenly spread, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my mixture. I'm going to pour it back in my large cup because it'll be easier to pour. It'll be easier to pour. Okay, so I'm going to start, excuse me, by pouring some, and you're going to pour it right up to the top. Again, leave a little space because you need to make sure you've got that cheese in there as well. So just pouring, and I've got a little extra here. You can see the cheese always comes out. You don't want to put too much in there because you also don't want it to overflow because it's already going to be coming out of the cup. So just almost to the top. What I'm doing is I'm scooping some of the cheese and some of it that's kind of on the bottom. So just as so. And I tell you, the reason part of why this is like not a perfect science with the eggs, because I use the egg whites, is I actually had a mixture of large eggs and small eggs. So, you know, you just have to work with it, right? So it's all good. It's all good. At least, you know, you kind of have an idea of what the cheese consistency should be like. All right, this is actually going to be it. I think we have enough of everything in every cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on pause as I scoop this last little bit of cheese into this cup. You can see it's right up to the top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in the oven. I've heated the oven to 350 and I'm going to leave it in for about 25 minutes. The last little thing I want you to do is just kind of move this around a little bit just to make sure the egg has gone underneath the mixture that we put in earlier, right? So remember our spinach and our tomatoes. So you're just moving it around just a little bit. And it looks like I've put a little bit too much in each of the cups because I can't move it around as well. So just move it around just a little bit so you can see some of your mixture kind of throughout because you want the egg to go all the way to the bottom as well. All right, that's about all it's going to take. So we're going to put it in the oven now and come back and you'll see just how delicious it is. And I will be eating this deliciousness, my husband and I, in short order. All right, that's it for now. Let's put it in the oven and we'll come back. We're back 25 minutes later and look at this tray of deliciousness, okay? It just looks fantastic. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 2 of these a piece and we're going to have it with some wheat toast. So I'm just going to scoop it out just so that you can see the texture of it. These are really hot. I just took them out, so I'm actually not going to even eat them because it's so hot. But I just want you to see kind of the color. Again, these were egg whites, yet nonetheless they're yellow because of the cheese. And you can see because we stirred it around a little bit, you've got a mixture of everything in it. So I hope you love these as much as I do. Again, serve it with some toast, whole wheat toast, maybe a slice of strawberries or blueberries. I mean, we're talking total deliciousness. So until I see you again, have a great, fantastic day. And as I always say, share on your timeline, that does something to my heart to know that you're willing to share with other people. So thanks again till we see each other. Bye-bye.